What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the fact sheet, the Social Security fact sheet. Now, we did this a couple of months ago. It was for October, but now this is for December. And it's good that we pay attention to this because we see where the money is going, and this is just for 1 month. They're just looking at 1 month, a snapshot. But we can see where the money goes. We can also see the potential problems in the future when it comes to Social Security. We're hearing about that Social Security will be insolvent in 2035 or by 2035, which means the trust fund will be out of money. And so it's good to look at these fact sheets because they give us that information and we can kind of follow it to see what needs to be done. Now, wait till the end of this video because I have some valuable information to share with you guys when it comes to what we can all do to help the Social Security Trust Fund. And so that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. Okay, and let's go ahead and switch over to our screen here. And we're going to take a look at this fact sheet. Now, this is put on by the Social Security Administration. And so we'll go ahead and take a look at what they're saying at the very top here. In 2023, an average of almost 67 million Americans per month will receive a Social Security benefit totaling over $1 trillion in benefits paid during the year. So they break it down for us just so we see exactly where the money is going. And so when we're looking at retired workers, we're looking at about 48.6 million people. And then we're looking at $88.7 billion. And that's an average here of $1,825. Now, when it comes to dependents, 2.7 million and at a cost of about 2.4 billion. And then when we're looking at disabled workers, 7.6 million people at a cost of 11.3 billion. And the average there is $1,483. And the dependents for disabled workers, 1.2 million people at a cost of 0.6 billion. And then we have survivor benefits, 5.9 million, and that's at a cost of 8.5 billion. So you get an idea of where the money's going when it comes to Social Security and what they do on a monthly. This is just 1 month, okay? So just understand that too. This is not over a long period of time. We're talking about 1 month. This is how much money is going out, is coming into the Social Security Administration and then going out of the Social Security Administration. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on here. And so it says nearly 9 out of 10 people age 65 or older were receiving a Social Security benefit as of December 31st, 2022. Social Security benefits represent about 30% of the income of the elderly. Okay, so 30% of the income of the elderly as a whole. Now, when we start looking more into the numbers, we find out that among the elderly Social Security beneficiaries, 37% of men, 42% of women receive 50% or more of their income from Social Security. So you see how much, I mean, and just think 50%, that's a huge amount. And and when we're looking at the breakdown when it comes to elderly people, they're relying heavily on Social Security. And we already knew this, and this just backs up that claim. Now, right here, it says among elderly Social Security beneficiaries, 12% of men and 15% of women rely on Social Security for 90% or more of their income. So this is something else that we know. And just me putting out these videos and talking with you guys in the comments and you guys let me know exactly what's going on when it comes to this. And you're telling me, yes, we are struggling. And it's because a large portion of the money that they're spending is coming solely from Social Security. They don't have any more money coming in. Now, I want to move down to the bottom here because I want to focus on this because this is something, like I was saying, that the vast majority of us can participate in this and actually help Social Security. So I want to focus on that, but I will post a link in the comments. So at the very top of the comments, there'll be a link so you can click on that link. So if you want to read this entire fact sheet, you can do that. Okay, so looking at the bottom here, looking at the top, it says an estimated 183 million workers will work in OASDI covered employment, okay? And that's what we're talking about, the FICA tax. We're talking about that payroll tax. That's what they're focused on there. Now, it says 31% of the workforce in private industry has no access to private pension coverage. Moving along, it says about 2/3, 63% of workers report that they are currently saving for retirement, okay? So about 2/3 are saving for retirement. Having an employee-sponsored retirement savings plan is a key factor in whether Americans save for retirement. Only 16% of those without access to an employer-sponsored plan said they have any retirement savings. Okay, so if there's not a program in place already, if you're working for a company and they have something set up, then usually people are going to gravitate to that and they will utilize the retirement plan. But if there's no retirement plan at all, the vast majority of people, they don't have retirement. That's just the way things are going right now. And so you can see a potential problem in the future if we have people that don't have any retirement plan. That means that when they retire, they're going to be getting Social Security, and it's only going to be Social Security. So they're going to be struggling. Okay, so this is what I really want to focus on here. In 1940, the life expectancy of a 65-year-old was almost 14 years. Today, it's over 20 years. Okay. Now, we talked a little bit about life expectancy in a video I posted a couple of days ago. Now, this is going back from 1940 and comparing that to now. What I was showing you before was a smaller window, as well as it goes up and down. So our life expectancy is going to go up and down. It kind of, if you want to compare it, kind of like the stock market goes up and down. And so this is just giving us a different window. Now, the second thing here, it says the number of Americans 65 and older will increase from about 58 million in 2022 to about 76 million by 2035. Now, what's important for us to understand when it comes to 2035, that's when they're talking about the trust fund will run out of money, so it'll be insolvent. And so now Social Security will be in a situation where you'll see a cut of about 23% if Congress doesn't do anything. And so that's why there's this huge push for Congress to move forward with something. Okay, now this last part here. In 2022, there are an estimated 2.8 covered workers per each Social Security beneficiary. So 2.8 covered workers per each Social Security beneficiary. By 2035, the trustee estimates there will be 2.3 covered workers for each beneficiary. So you see it's going down here, 2.3. It goes from 2.8 to 2.3. This is an estimate. Now, what does this mean? What are we talking about here when we're talking about 2.8 to down to 2.3? That means you have less money coming in to help the people who are currently receiving benefits. And that's going in the wrong direction. We actually want more people. So if it was 3.8, that would be even better. If it was moving up, that would be even better. That means that more people are working, and that means that with that money, the FICA tax that they're paying, their payroll tax, it is going to help the people who are currently receiving benefits. But it's going in the wrong direction. And that's why they're saying that the trust fund will run out of money, because it's simple math here. When you look at this, you're seeing that you have less people in the workforce and you have more people that are living longer. And so it's just not going to work. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and take a look at this here. So we hear a lot about technology. We hear about technology, AI, so artificial intelligence, and how robots and computers are pretty much taking our jobs. And so I want to go over this because this is one thing that we also need to focus on. We can't just focus on the fact that people are living longer. And so what do they say, by 2035, we'd be looking at a situation where it's going to be over 70 million people receiving Social Security benefits. We can't just look at that and say that's the major problem, and the way that we fix that problem is just by raising the full retirement age. We can't just say that. We also have to look at what's going on in employment. Are companies laying a lot of people off? We know that that's happening. Are they replacing people with machines? We know that's happening as well. And I'm going to show you some evidence of that. And just think of the things that you do on a regular basis. And when you go, just like, for example, here, vending machines. There are vending. This is. I'm not going to say this is new. Vending machines have been out for a very, very long time, but we see them everywhere. And I remember when I was working, and we had vending machines when I was working, But we used to have this, the muffin lady. And it was funny because the muffin lady would come by every day around 10 o'clock. One of the receptionists would come by with a little bell, and she'd ring that little bell. And so we knew that the muffin lady was there, and we can go downstairs and get, she had like muffins, and she had homemade brownies and cookies and things like that. And so she would do that every day. But we also have vending machines, and we had got more and more vending machines. And it got to a point where the muffin lady just wasn't there anymore. She didn't come anymore. And she probably didn't come anymore because there weren't too many people that were getting the muffins and the stuff that she was making. And so that could be an example where you're seeing a machine that's actually replacing a person. Okay, so let's look at some other ways that computers are actually replacing people. So when you travel, a lot of times when you're traveling now, you're going to one of those self check-ins. So you go and you get your boarding pass, but you have to go through this kiosk to do it. You don't have that same situation where you wait in line and you go up to the front and you give them your bags and all that. Now you just do the self check-in. You take your bag over to, there's a little conveyor belt. You put it on the conveyor belt and then you go on your way. Now, in certain situations, I can't avoid it. Like, you can't avoid this because if there's no line, there's no line. There's nowhere to go to check your bag. And so you have to go through these kiosks, and they really push you to go through these kiosks. And the only time that I really don't get that pressure is if I'm flying business class or first class, and they will always have a physical person there to do all that work for you. But if you're flying economy, you're usually going to have to go through these check-ins, or you're going to have to wait in a long line. And so the companies are almost making it uncomfortable for you to wait in line and talk to an actual person. And so they put these kiosks all over the place. They have maybe one or two people that can help you if you want to go through the line, but you have to wait an hour. So wait an hour or wait 5 to 10 minutes to go through the computerized kiosk check-in. And so most people are going to go through the check-in. Now, companies look at it and they say, well, this is great because we don't have to have as many employees. We can buy these machines and people will use the machines. And once they get comfortable using the machines, then we don't even need to have people at all. We might have maybe one person there just to help you if you really need help. But other than that, we'll just use a kiosk and people can do everything on their own. And so companies like that because they keep more of the profits, right? Okay, coffee stations. I don't really use these. I don't even know if they really exist, but it's on here, so we'll just talk about that. So there's coffee machines. So if you're in a situation where you don't have to go to Starbucks anymore, you can just go to a place where they have like a machine. I guess that would be much like a vending machine, in which I have seen coffee vending machines. So that could be comparable to that. Now, interactive navigation. So if you go to a mall, or even if you're at the airport, they have these kiosks now. They used to have, and they still do, you can still find them, but they used to have an information desk where you go and there's somebody sitting behind the desk and you tell them, hey, I need to find this, or I need to go here, and they tell you how to get there. But now you have these computerized navigation things, touch screens where you touch and you just type in where you want to go and they'll tell you how to get there. They'll say, you are here now and this is where you're going. That's another job that's being taken over by computers. And look here, when you go to the movies now, in a lot of situations, you'll go to a kiosk and you'll get your tickets. So you don't necessarily have to go to a physical person. And sometimes you can even get them online, so you don't even have to go to the kiosk. You get the tickets online and you just take it to the movie theater. Another thing, now this is something that is new to me. I like to shop online. And even if I plan to go to the store, I'll shop online and I'll do the pickup order. So, and it's just easier for me. It's a lot faster. And plus I like to use credit cards. So I like to use the points. And in certain situations, I can earn more points if I buy it online as opposed to going to the store to buy it. So in this situation, you can go, and a lot of stores are doing this now, is where they have this locker outside in front of the store. Now, I don't always I would prefer not to use a locker. I would prefer to go in the store and actually get the product from a person, just in case I have questions and things like that. But sometimes they don't give you the option, and they just put it in the locker. And then once they tell you that it's ready, they'll tell you it's ready and it's in the locker. So you have to go to the locker to get it. So I'm noticing this more and more. You're having stores that have these lockers, especially the home improvement stores. They're doing this a lot now. Now, a hotel check-in. This is interesting because I've done this before where you just go to a computer and you can check in. And they've even gone further now. And I just booked a couple of nights in Hawaii. I'll be going there in a few months. And now everything is on my phone. So now all I need to do, I don't even need to talk to anyone. I can just, when I get to the hotel, I can go straight to the room. And so you can do all the check-in and everything on your app, and then your phone becomes the key. And so I thought that was interesting. I haven't done that before, so this is going to be the first time that I do that. But just think of all the jobs that they no longer need all these jobs, because you're pretty much doing everything on your own. And so this last one here, and I want to focus mostly on this, is the self-checkout at grocery stores and department stores. We're seeing more of these, and we're only going to see even more in the future. And so now you're doing everything on your own. It's kind of weird, and I'll talk about this at the very end. It's kind of weird, this whole concept of you're going to a store and you go to a self-checkout. Now I want to show you this video clip just to kind of solidify what we were just talking about. Here we go.
It's the future of checking out, and experts say they're in to stay.
I like it.
It's super convenient. It's a faster way to just pay your grocery and get out of there.
But automated cashiers are beeping and creeping up on people like Jade Lee Carpenter, a 22-year-old single mom whose job working the register at Coventry Market in Cleveland is her only source of income.
I fully depend on my job as a cashier for my son and for myself to support where I live.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Jade's been a cashier 3 years and says she has an advantage over machines.
I do think that I sell more products because I know what they want and I can have it ready for them as soon as they walk up to the counter.
Amazon has taken a very different approach with its Go stores, literally shop and leave, no interaction needed. In a statement, Amazon says, we've simply shifted how our associates spend their time so they can focus on the tasks that will make the biggest impact. There are more than 3 million cashier jobs, 74% of them held by women. But in the last 5 years alone, 50,000 jobs have gone offline, a trend expected to continue.
It does worry me because I do believe that these entry-level jobs that are applied in retail and some of the other jobs that are around will ultimately be automated out of existence.
At Coventry Market, Jade is proud of the skills she's developed.
I've learned how to interact with people, how to count money, how to make a schedule.
All adding up to a promotion to assistant manager. Ron Mott, NBC News.
Okay, so I just wanted to show you that clip. Now let's get back to why this is important for us to be focused on this whole problem when it comes to artificial intelligence and when it comes to computers taking people's jobs. Let's look at this, and I'm just gonna work you through this, and so hopefully you'll understand what we're talking about when it comes to why this is important for Social Security. Okay, so you have a cashier, and he or she is working, let's say they're working 40 hours. Let's say they're doing this full time, like the young lady on that video. And so that person would be paying 6.2%, that FICA tax, as well as the employer has to pay 6.2%. And so we're looking at a total here of 12.4%. That money goes to the Social Security Administration, and that helps with people who are currently receiving benefits. Okay, that's what pays the people who are currently receiving Social Security benefits. Now, that is one way of doing things. Now, if the company decides we want to get rid of the cashier and we want to actually buy a kiosk, then now we're looking at a situation where there's no money going to Social Security anymore because the employer decided to get rid of the cashier and we have this machine in place. And so the machine is not going to be responsible to pay 6.2%, as well as the employer no longer needs to pay 6.2% because they don't have an employee. And so their employee is basically a computer, right? And so a situation like this, the company, they benefit because they're saving on that 6.2%, but they're also saving overall because if you have a computer, it's not going to call in sick. You don't have to pay it benefits. You don't have to pay it. I mean, you have to pay the setup cost, the initial fee for the machine, but then you don't have to pay any more. You don't have to pay them a salary or anything like that. And so for a company, it's beneficial, and they get around having to pay anything to the Social Security Administration, and that in turn hurts the people who are currently receiving benefits. So now you can see how this hurts. And so how do we slow down this automation? because eventually it's going to be all automated. We know that already. We're already looking at it. You saw the clip they were talking about. It's going to be just like that Amazon Go store where you just go in there and you just pretty much get your products and then you walk out and everything is charged automatically to your account because they have your information already. And so we'll probably be seeing more stores open up that are very similar to that. But all I can say right now that we still have people that are cashiers and they're working in these department stores and grocery stores, always don't do the self-checkout. And I've stopped. I don't do self-checkout anymore. Anytime I see a self-checkout, I will walk past that and go to someone who's actually working there, because it's important for us to support those jobs, because companies don't care. They don't care about that. They want to focus on the bottom line. They want to make as much money as possible, and they can, and we're seeing this now, they can make more money if they have these self-checkout lanes as opposed to having a lot of people working at the company. And another thing that's kind of strange, it's almost a slap in the face when you go to a grocery store, you go to a department store, they're telling you, you know what, you're going to come in here, you're going to pay for the products, and you're also going to go ahead and check yourself out. We're not going to do that for you anymore, and you're going to bag your own groceries or bag your own whatever products that you're getting. I mean, it's almost a slap in the face. It's like, I'm already going in there spending money. The least you can do is check me out and put my groceries in a bag. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, in Southern California, we even have to pay for bags now. I don't know if it's all over the U.S., but I know in Southern California, that's the case. And so you got to pay for a bag, and you also need to bag it yourself. Like it's just, I don't know. I just think it's gone too far. And this is one thing that we can do to at least slow the process down. So at least the Social Security Administration can still receive that 6.2% from the employee and from the employer. And I didn't even talk about Medicare. Medicare is another fund that's coming from both the employee and the employer, but we didn't even talk about that. So if you have computers in place, that's going to be less money that's going to the Medicare program as well. And so I just wanted to kind of bring this to light. And I know I've talked about this before, I didn't go into details when it comes to self-checkout and stuff like that. But if you can, and if you see self-checkout, try to just walk right by there, go to someone who's actually working and help them. I mean, because you're not just helping the people who are receiving Social Security, you're also helping that person have a job. Because if these computers take over, they're not going to have jobs anymore. And so they're going to have to do something else, and it might be a job where they have to actually go to college or go to a trade in order to do that job. And if they do, then they're going to have to pay for that college. I mean, so it's one of these things where right now we have some jobs where you don't have to have a degree. This happens to be one of those jobs where you don't have to have a degree. And now they're trying to get rid of those jobs. And it's not just when it comes to grocery stores and department stores. When it comes to the service industry as a whole, they're trying to get rid of a lot of the jobs. And like we were looking at, we were talking about hotels, and there are a lot of jobs that in 10 years, we're probably not going to see them anymore. And so I want to know what you guys think about all this. So let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.